This one are the 361 Fierce Max and represent a stability shoe that promise softness, traction, and lot of surprise. But to understand what we are talking about, let's start from the specification. This shoe weighs 299 grams in US size 9, with a 6mm drop, 31mm at the heel, and 25mm at the forefoot. In reality, the Chinese brand omitted the Insole and Strobel board in the official measurement, so I believe the real stack height is 38-32. It uses a dual-density midsole, a very soft Extreme 3 light foam in the forefoot, and a more stable EVA section in the heel. The outsole is relatively firm and features lateral cutouts to enhance stability, plus a very wide platform. To be precise, the forefoot width is 12 centimeters and the heel width is 10 centimeters. This makes the shoe very stable but slightly slower as your foot stays in contact with the ground longer. Regarding sizing, I recommend to be true to size. This is a US 9, but the shoes is very wide, so it's like 2E, and you need to pay attention because this might play a different way of running compared to the normal shoes that you use. Full disclosure, I use these shoes for under 20 kilometers. I want to run 35 kilometers last weekend, but I had to run a marathon 254, just a training exercise, so I could not do that the previous day, so I just limit myself to 21 kilometers. These shoes were sent to me by 361 directly from China for review. They've also activated a promo code, which you'll find linked below. Despite the fact that 361 sent me the shoes, these are the 10 things I like it, the 2 things I would change, and who these shoes is for. One of the things I love the most about this shoe is the upper. It's made from a single layer jacquard mesh that's incredibly breathable. There's lateral support right where you need it, and the entire construction feels flexible with ventilation holes placed exactly where they help the most. The collar is nicely padded, giving a really secure lockdown in the forefoot. And the best part, even when running in 30-degree heat, the upper doesn't overheat, it stays surprisingly cool. As for the laces, I was actually quite impressed. They're flat and slightly elastic, which makes them easy to tighten without feeling too stiff. And what I really appreciated is that they're corrugated, so they hold their position well, no constant retying mid-run. They're not the fancy premium kind you'd find on top-tier racing shoes, but honestly, they get the job done. I'd still recommend using a double knot or even the runner's loop for extra lockdown, but overall they stay in place and don't loosen up easily. Now let's talk about the tongue, and here things get interesting. It's a bit thicker than I personally would prefer, but it's also well padded and, crucially, it's gusseted, meaning it's attached on both sides. This prevents it from sliding around during your run, which is a big plus. There's also a small loop at the top that helps keep it centered and contributes to an overall secure fit. Even with snug lacing, I didn't feel any uncomfortable pressure points, which tells me the tongue offers good protection from lace pressure and contributes to the overall comfort of the shoe. Moving to the heel counter, this is where the Fierce Max really surprised me. The heel feels solid and supportive, which is crucial in a shoe with such a wide base. But what I liked is that it's not overly rigid. There's an internal heel clip, but it's not intrusive or uncomfortable. Yes, it's a bit oversized, maybe even a little too much, but that extra structure does enhance rear foot stability. Plus, there's a nylon plate embedded in the heel area, extending toward the midfoot, which adds even more support. Whether you're running downhill or taking sharp turns, the heel stays planted and gives you a secure, locked-in feel. When it comes to stability, the Fierce Max is hands down one of the most secure shoes I've tested. Thanks to the wide platform, especially under the heel, and the dual density midsole, it gives you a really grounded feel. But what really backs this up are the numbers from my RunScribe sensors. The shoe registered a shock level of just 15.3 G, which is very low for a max cushion trainer, and the pronation angle was only 9.2 degrees. That tells me this shoe does an excellent job at keeping your stride controlled and balanced, even when you're fatigued or on uneven terrain.
I also tested it downhill in curvy sections and it held its form beautifully. No wobbling, no collapsing. It's the kind of stability that gives confidence, especially for heavier runners or anyone needing more support during long sessions. The midsole is honestly where this shoe really stands out. It features a dual density design with a softer, bouncier foam in the forefoot and a more stable, firmer section in the heel, that green portion you see. The brand doesn't officially name the compound, but based on feel and responsiveness, it's very likely a TPEE-based foam. Lightweight, highly elastic, and softer than EVA, but more stable than PEBA. In my tests, after over 100 kilometers with RunScribe sensors, I recorded an energy return between 70 and 75%, which is excellent for a max-cushioned daily trainer. What makes this midsole special is its progressive ride feel. It's soft when you land, but offers a steady push-off without feeling too squishy or unstable. It works well at slow paces, but still gives a nice bounce if you decide to speed up a bit. As for the ride feel, I'd describe it as smooth, balanced, and surprisingly versatile. You get a nice soft landing, and especially under the forefoot, but there's enough structure in the heel to keep you steady, even during longer sessions. What stood out to me is that the shoe doesn't feel overly squishy or slow. It has that kind of progressive bounce where the more you put into it, the more it gives back. The transitions are fluid, not clunky, and the geometry of the midsole really helps with that. No aggressive rocker, but still a natural forward roll. Whether I was jogging at 5 minutes per km or pushing closer to 3 minutes 30 seconds, the ride stayed consistent and enjoyable. It's not a race day feel, but for daily training, especially long runs or steady efforts, it delivers comfort and stability without compromising on responsiveness. Let's take a quick look at the insole, and while it might seem like a small detail, it actually contributes a lot to the overall comfort. It's a removable insole, slightly contoured to support the foot, and made from a breathable foam that doesn't trap heat. It stays in place very well, no slipping or bunching up, which is important, especially on longer runs. You could technically replace it with a custom orthotic, but honestly, I wouldn't recommend it unless you absolutely need one. From a data standpoint, I didn't notice any negative impact on stance consistency or foot motion, which tells me this insole is doing its job, adding comfort without compromising performance. Now let's talk about the outsole, and here the Fierce Max does a solid job. It uses a rubber compound that feels firm enough to last, but not so hard that it ruins the ride. There are deep flex grooves cut into the sole, which help maintain flexibility, especially in the forefoot. After over 100 kilometers, I didn't notice any significant wear on the forefoot area, which is great. There was a bit of scuffing on the heel, but to be honest, that's probably because I was dragging my feet slightly during one of the test runs. And that might even be intentional on the brand's part, offering a slightly softer experience up front with more durable grip at the back to ensure stable landings.
What I didn't really like is definitely the weight of the shoes. It's 299 grams in size, US 9, so it's not really a racing shoes, and although you can really run a marathon without any issue.
Then there's the forefoot width. While it offers amazing stability, it might actually be too wide for runners with narrower feet. That extra space can reduce the sense of responsiveness or make the fit feel a bit sloppy. Lastly, the design, especially around the heel, comes off as a bit plastic looking. Now, that's obviously subjective, but it does give off a more budget or utilitarian vibe, which may not appeal to everyone. So overall, none of these are deal breakers, but they're definitely points to keep in mind if you're considering this shoe. So who is this shoe really for? In my opinion, the 361 Fierce Max is ideal for runners looking for maximum comfort and stability, especially over long distances. If you're a heavier runner, say over 75 or 90 kilos, this shoe gives you the support and cushioning you need without feeling unstable. It works great for easy runs, long runs, steady efforts, and even moderate tempos. I'd say it's suited for paces anywhere between 6 minutes 30 seconds per kilometer down to about 4 minutes. Beyond that, you might want something lighter or more aggressive. Would I recommend it for a marathon? Absolutely, especially if your target is around 3 hours and 30 minutes or slower. It'll keep your legs fresher and provide a consistent, forgiving ride. So no, it's not built for speed or racing, but if you're looking for a reliable daily trainer with serious comfort and lockdown, this one definitely deserves a look. To wrap it up, the 361 Fierce Max really surprised me. It's not just another max cushion trainer. It combines softness, structure, and durability in a way that actually works. Sure, it's not the lightest or flashiest shoe out there, and it might not be the top pick for race day, but for your daily miles, long runs, and steady sessions, especially if you need stability, it's a shoe that you'll probably end up reaching for more often than you expect.
A big plus is that this shoes it is discounted for launch, so link below, and in the next review I will show you another fantastic shoes. But at this point in time, stay strong, keep running, see you next time. Ciao!